Good morning, everybody. I am just about to get started with my morning commute. Forgive the bouncy camera, I don't have a bracket yet. But let me tell you about this great idea of mine. I know I'm always having great ideas, but I think this one's pretty cool. So last night I was taking a bath as dictated by my fortune cookie yesterday. If you don't know what I'm talking about, search for my picture from yesterday. It's pretty hilarious. So for those of you who know how driven I am, relaxing is not the thing that I'm the best at. But I was taking a hot bubble bath, and I was trying to wind down and get ready for another week of this new job that I'm doing. You'll have to forgive me. Driving, of course, takes priority here. And so I'm winding down. I'm laying there in the bathtub, and I'm trying to think about how I can keep in touch with all of my readers and just the amazing people who've supported me on this journey the last few years. You know, I started blogging almost 3 years ago now, and I started my entrepreneurial pursuits with professional organizing business that I loved. And, you know, all the twists and turns over the years have brought me to this place where I'm working full time. Just in the last 2 weeks, you know, God sort of dumped me into this whole new season. But there's still so much that I want to share with you. And there's still so much story and inspiration and hope that just burn inside me that I need to share. And I was laying there, you know, worrying, instead of relaxing. I was laying there worrying about how I'm going to fit all this together and how I'm going to find time to write and stay in touch with you all. And that's when the divine inspiration hit for this show. So, every morning on my way to work, I'm going to come and share with you just a little bit. And I'm going to call it Excuse Busters. Yes, just like Ghostbusters. You know, as I've been thinking over sort of the message that God's put in my heart for you all, and the ways that He has blessed me, one of the things that I have been sort of ground into my life, to my heart, deep down inside, is the fact that He really wants to break me out of every excuse, every reason, every circumstantial roadblock. And He's done it over and over and over in my life. And one of the things I find when I share bits of my story with you all is that it busts open some of your excuses too. So, I'm going to be safe, I'm going to drive carefully, and God willing, I'm going to have a chauffeur soon, because my husband is applying at the same place that I work, and maybe we'll be able to commute together, so I won't have to do double duty on driving and talking with you. But that's my plan. Every morning, I'm just going to get together with you for a minute for a little bit of excuse busting. We can just break out of our mold together. So this morning I was thinking that the first excuse buster, obviously, that's on the table, it's not having enough time, right? And it's probably one we're going to talk about a lot, because it's one that it seems like it just comes up over and over and over again. How do we, particularly as moms and wives and people with big dreams, and at the same time all the same little stuff still on our plates, how do we juggle all of it without going crazy, without you know, multitasking is only so good. It only takes us so far. You know, the only reason that I can drive and talk to you is because I drive and talk all the time. I'm not doing two things that are antithetical, because when I try, I certainly can't work on my big dreams while I'm at work. That needs my full undivided attention. I can't work on my big dreams while I'm with my kids. They deserve my undivided attention. My husband deserves undivided attention. My God deserves undivided attention. So juggling all of these things and finding the time to put everything together is a huge challenge. And unfortunately, it's something that I know I have used as an excuse to cut corners. an excuse to try and juggle too many things at once, so that I'm letting somebody down, letting myself down, letting my big purpose down often. I sort of give away those things that are really important to me sometimes by falling into the excuse that I just don't have time, or where am I going to find the time? And I think that leads us to the busting of this excuse. It's the finding of time, it's the making of priorities that just wipes this out of our lives. The truth is, we spend time, I spend time, and I know you do too, on what is absolutely most important to us. And that doesn't mean that when I sit down to watch TV or I take a bubble bath, that I'm, somehow slacking. I think that's what our perfectionism tries to tell us. And that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, if you aren't getting out of your life what you want to, if the results aren't showing up, and if the excuse of I just don't have time pops up over and over and over again, you might consider that your priorities are out of whack. That's what's happened with this full-time job for me and my husband. Yes, hanging out with my kids is the most important thing in the world. But the seasons changed almost before we could really recognize it. And suddenly I have confident kids that are in full-time school. Starting in July, my 6 and 7-year-olds are going to be 7 and 8, and they're going to be in 1st and 3rd grades. And my 4-year-old is the most confident little guy. He's so happy to go off to preschool. And suddenly, what I had thought was a priority moved to the side, time-wise. And suddenly what we'd been praying about and focusing on and striving for the last 4 or 5 years just rose to the surface. Getting off of welfare, getting on our own feet financially, paying all our bills, and then paying off our debt. Suddenly, the time investment needed to be directly in line with our big dreams and our big goals. Directly. Not somewhere down the road, not when we get to it. None of that. Needed to be right here today, now. I needed to be putting 7-8 hours a day, plus an hour of commute, directly into what was most important. So that's my challenge to you. It's my challenge to me. It's an ongoing challenge. Am I putting the bulk of my effort, the bulk of my time, in the direct place where I want results? And, it's a painful thing, it was painful for me anyway, to realize that I wasn't doing that. To hit a wall and realize, what I thought I was investing in is not going to give me the results that I care the most about right now. So, that's my number one excuse buster show of all time, and I pray that, God willing, I will be back with you tomorrow. Stay safe, stay focused, and join me again tomorrow. All my love. Elise Adams with LiseyAdams.com and the Excuse Busters Show.